Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Smash these likes up on the way in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, subscribe to Nobbin, subscribe
Woo.
to everybody, man. Just have about 250 subscriptions on YouTube. You know what I mean? This is the best way, guys. But yeah, hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Following City's 10-1 historic victory, man. You know what I mean? Nobbins. It's
Yay.
history. History has been not broken because obviously we matched the result, but history has been repeated.
Yes, absolutely. My mum was there for the Huddersfield battering, and
W Nobbins' mum. Come on.
absolutely, and Mother Nobbins, and I've now witnessed my own cheeky 10-1. So, it's running in the family. We love to see it. So now my future child just needs to see one as well, and we'll have a triple generation of batterings.
Yeah. Good to see you, mate. How you doing? You good, yeah?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yes, how are you?
I'm all right. By the way, there was no side bingo last night because I crashed out, bro. Like I just died off in it. You know what I mean? I was basically in bed for like 9 o'clock.
Oh no, what happened?
I don't know. I don't think I've been going to bed like really late. Not by choice, just because I couldn't sleep. And so I think I was just knackered yesterday, man. You know what I mean? So I just went
Your
bed quite
body
early.
rebelled against you.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you know what I mean? And after the 10-1, you know what I mean? Obviously, I thought, you know what, let me get a head down. Let me get some kip. Plus, we need to cook Saeed on midday live because they got beat yesterday. It's funny. I tweeted before the game. I don't know if you've seen it. I was like basically calling out Brighton for rotating the team when like that's the only trophy they can win now,
Yeah.
and they still fucking won. Yeah, crazy times we live in.
Power of
Crazy
United.
times. I know, man. But yeah, mate, a lot to talk about. Obviously, we did a show last week. How's your cat, by the way?
Oh no, it was just like a scheduled a vet appointment for her. No, it was all good. I just forgot about it.
Okay.
Hence I didn't let you know until the day of. But no, she's fine. She's all good. She's got allergies, so she has to go to get like regular steroids. She's a little steadhead.
Right. Yeah. Jacked. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You take her to the gym.
I should start doing that, shouldn't I?
No,
She'll show me off. She'll show me up. Yeah, exactly.
Mad. Well, we've actually not spoke. We need to before we maybe can talk about the game and sort of like how we go forward. We've not really spoke too much about the Semenyo signing, obviously, because we didn't do a stream last week. He obviously got himself a goal and an assist. I don't know about you, mate, and obviously I am taking it with a bit of a pinch of salt because it was Exeter. But when I look at the sort of fundamentals of how Semenyo played on Saturday, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in sort of like, bigger games and harder tests, because the finish was very nice. You know what I mean? We've not seen that from one of our wingers probably since maybe Sterling, maybe, or Mahrez, in terms of going through on goal and being so composed, and me as a fan having a lot of confidence that he was going to score. And I actually thought a very underrated bit of his game, that cross into Rico Lewis on his weak foot, that cross on his left foot was outstanding. It was a fantastic cross, brilliant sort of delivery, and Rico Lewis basically couldn't miss. So yeah, I know there'll be people in the chat saying, "Oh my God, it's only Exeter." I'm not really talking about that. What I'm talking about is looking at how he performed and the sort of what he did on the ball and his delivery. I thought was exceptional. And honestly, mate, I was always for the signing. Yeah, I was always pro Semenyo signing. However, I wasn't really like gaffed about it. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And I'm still not saying that. But
yeah,
I actually think maybe I underestimated just what a utility and what a weapon this guy could be for us, because he's in front of goal and in that final third, mate, he looked frightening. And again, I get that it's only Exeter, man. But what was your thoughts on Semenyo's first game?
I thought he had a really positive game, even without the goal contributions in the first half. I thought he still had a really positive game. He showcased a lot of what he has showcased for Bournemouth and what he is fundamentally as a player. Yeah, definitely. I really like lots of those reverse passes inside to, to Haaland and Reinders especially. That was really good, wasn't it? He's going to be a very positive signing for us. I'm with you. I'm positive about the signing, not ecstatic about the signing, but it's still a good signing in the right direction. 100%. There's no doubt he improves what City can be this season. We don't really have a true goal scoring natural winger right now, because Savio and Doku, you associate them far more with being creative players, Semenyo, you associate more with being a goal scorer than a creator outright. So it's good to have that balance depending on the game state. It's good to have the options. And he played on the left against Exeter. I would assume that when Doku and he are both starting, I'd assume that it would be Semenyo more so off the right this season. But who knows? Maybe Pep has different ideas for what he's going to use Semenyo for this season. But it's good to know that he can play off the left, he can play off the right. Maybe he can fill in centrally at times for Haaland because he is such a threat in front of goal. What I really liked was the work he did as an outlet as well. There was the build-up. I can't remember which goal it was because there were so many of them. But there was one goal where there were like loads of passes beforehand, and I think Semenyo receives it from Fooney on the left-hand side in not an optimal area, but the ball still sticks to him like glue because he's such a fantastic outlet. Like there's an extra player right on him, but he uses his strength for City to keep hold of the ball, and then we move it across to the other side, and I think we end up scoring a goal. Little details like that do really matter, especially City have had the problems that we've had this season. Doku's been able to help us in that sense. We haven't had another player beyond Doku able to do that, so Semenyo doing that is a massive positive for this iteration of City. So huge positive game, and I'm sure that he's going to have a really positive impact on us this season. Whether it's the difference between us winning the title or not, that's another question. But there's no doubt that he improves the squads, like, objectively, definitely.
Yeah, you know, another thing I like about him is willingness to make runs in behind the defence. Because when you look at sort of Doku doesn't really do that. Now, there was actually, if you go back to the Club World Cup, Doku did start doing that a few times in the Club World Cup. I think actually one of his goals he scored, he was doing it. And I was like, oh my God, this could be like real benefit for Doku in terms of his output. But as the season's gone on, even though Doku's had a decent year, he's not really done that, as he's sort of like, he's obviously played a little bit more centrally at times, and you know, everything's in front of him, and he's not really got it behind. Bob never makes runs behind the defense when he's on there, and Savio doesn't really do it either. So, and Cherky's not going to do that. Cherky wants to play in front of him because he's the one that's going to get the ball and play the ball in behind. So I think that's another thing that's going to be a real benefit to the team in terms of a different sort of way of playing, because for the last couple of years, ever since sort of like Sterling left, we've not really had a player that actually makes those runs in behind. And if you think back to when we had a player like Sterling in the side, he used to get so many goals, or maybe he get an assist off it because maybe he crossed the ball by making those runs in behind. And now you've got Cherky. Cherky wants to be playing those passes. And look at the goal that Semenyo scored. Who played the pass? Hey, it's Ryan Cherky, and it was a fantastic pass. So I think that's another thing that we've not seen that for so long. And obviously, I'm not saying that he's going to be doing that every game or every time he wants the ball. He's going to be playing. He's going to be running in behind the defense. But it's another option that the team has got, because I do think the last couple of years we've been all our wingers have been pretty samey. In that they want to receive the ball and then turn and then look at the defender rather than actually getting behind the defence, man. We've got players that can actually play those passes. Maybe not last year. Maybe last year we didn't have the players because obviously Kevin De Bruyne was injured a lot, and Kovacic and Gundogan don't really play those passes. Gundogan can, but he didn't really last year. So I think that's another thing for me that I think is a benefit to the side, and his strength. You know, I've heard you speak about the fact that when we go long, it's basically Haaland or bust. Yeah. Well, now you've got two players up top that can win headers. And actually, it's not just that you're doubling your chances of winning that ball. You know, if Semenyo does come in field and it's going up to Haaland, Semenyo can put challenges and win scraps and win duels. So then you've got a player that can actually play off of Haaland and help Haaland, because sometimes Haaland will win the ball. Yeah, and then there's no one else to help him. Yeah, what's this City extra bomber? Is this true? People say there's a bomb back, so but it's been just dropped.
Shall I talk whilst you're researching?
Talk while I research.
Yeah. So he's in the, and you guys would know this if you watch my Semenyo analysis video. He's in the top 18% for aerial duels won, which is very impressive compared to other forwards across Europe's top 5 leagues, which is very lovely. And if you just like think back to a game like, let's say, earlier this season at the Emirates, where we had to actually take off both Haaland and I think we ended up taking off both Haaland and Doku in that game, actually. So that was basically both of our outlets gone off the pitch. in a period of the match where what we needed on the pitch were outlets, but they were just absolutely shattered and drained and they couldn't do anything more. Now, imagine a situation where we were able to bring on Semenyo instead. So like late in games, or maybe like just in second halves where the game is going away from us, where we are having to go along a little bit more, bringing on Semenyo is a fantastic option to have if he's not actually starting. So you can then have a situation, if you wanted to, where you've got all three of Doku, Haaland and Semenyo all on the pitch at the same time. Now you've got three great outlets, whether on the ground or whether aerially. So that's a really interesting weapon that City can use late on in games. So I appreciate that today's stream is called, what's City's best 11, but I think the point is that whether he's starting or whether he's not, it's still a really useful weapon to have depending on game state. So it's a really good tool in City's war chest.
Yeah, well, I'll just quickly bring up the news.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
What was the news?
I wouldn't say it's a bombazzo, but it's potentially interesting news. Manchester City are intent on persuading both Mark Guehi and Crystal Palace to do a deal this month and are prepared to match their offers, having already engaged in talks over a potential deal. But this for me is a very interesting sentence. I don't think we've seen this before. This January, the 25-year-old is open to the move. I've already said I think Crystal Palace are happy to sell the guy now. Yeah, I think they're happy to, and after their FA Cup exit, I think they'll be even more happy to sell him. They're going to lose him on a free, and realistically, they don't want to lose this guy on a free transfer. So I don't think that Manchester City and Crystal Palace, that is an issue. I think City and Palace can come to an agreement quite easily, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yeah, I think for me, the harder thing appears to be, does Mark Guehi want to join Manchester City, and does he want to join now, or does he want to wait for his sign-on bonus? And everything that we've heard is that, you look at what Ornstein's saying, or his preference is to stay in sort of summer. His preference is Arsenal and Liverpool. That appears to be the harder part of this whole transfer. Is this the first sign that Mark Guehi is more than open to a move this January to Manchester City? I think this is actually quite important news. Miguel Delaney obviously hates City, but yeah, writes for the Independent. So I think that's quite a positive update. I think that's quite a positive update. This sentence for me is kind of crucial here, because I don't think, have we seen that before in this January transfer regarding Mark Guehi? I don't know. Have we seen it? For everything that I've read is that Mark Guehi doesn't know. He's not decided. So if this could be a real positive sign here, and obviously they got knocked out of Mac. Did you see that, by the way? They got knocked out of Macclesfield.
Oh no! Oh, I heard about that. But I didn't see the match now.
Apparently, it's the biggest FA Cup knockout in terms of league position ever.
Really, the biggest giant killing? Wow,
bro! They're not even in the Conference League; they're in the Northern League.
That's mad. What team did Palace put out? Was it like children or something?
No, it was they had Gay started, Wharton started, Chris Richards started. Bro, they had a strong 11. They are much stronger, not like fully strong, yeah, but
no,
like
strong enough though.
But Matt Gay and Wharton both play, and that Chris Richards as well. They both did. All three of them started, yeah. And
that's crazy.
Borna Sosa, that guy started as well. So it wasn't like some dead ass team that they put out. Yeah, there's this guy on. I don't know if you've seen it. This Palace fan on Twitter. Yeah, it's been rinsed. Fair play. He's not deleted the tweets, but before the game, the guy was going ham on Twitter saying like, this is going to be a thrashing. Like Macclesfield fans are going to be gutted because they know they're going to get knocked out because we've gone mad strong and all that. He was going like, fair play to the guy, to be fair. Like everyone would have been saying the same
Of course, yeah. I was saying about Exeter, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like, bro, everyone's just been cooking him on Twitter. Like, fair play to the geezer. I don't know who it is, but he's not deleted it, man. But yeah, obviously, Mark Gay, obviously, I did want to speak about like City's 11, but this is, I don't know about your thoughts on Gay, yeah, because I'm not sure how much we've discussed it, but I really want him to sign, mate. I think he's a top player. I wanted him last January. I think he's in that age bracket of, he's literally just about to enter his prime years. He's homegrown. His physicality, you know what I mean? He can cover the ground quickly. So in the high lines, he ain't some slow player. Do you agree? Or a lot of people want Schlotterbeck, don't they? That's the alternative name that seems to be thrown out there by City fans. If they don't want Mark Guehi, it seems to be Schlotterbeck. Yeah. Like wherever you want, because obviously as well, homegrown player. That is that. If you get him and Semenyo, that's quite big in terms of that homegrown quota.
Yes, I think that it's not a coincidence that there's a reason why I spoke about homegrown so much last summer, and it's not a coincidence that City are being they have signed Semenyo, who is homegrown, being linked with Anderson, who's obviously homegrown, being linked with Gahey, who is homegrown. It's because we do need to be looking at homegrown players. Next season, there will be some scope and wiggle room, but we are still going to be walking a tightrope. So it does make sense that City are linked with lots of homegrown players. That's the first thing to say. So it does make a lot of sense. Schlotterbeck's a better player for me, but I don't know how likely it is you get him out of Dortmund anyway. So Gahey probably seems to be a more viable option for City. I don't know who City wants in the summer / wanted in the summer. My take is whoever City wanted in the summer, sign in Jan. And I don't really care about the financial package, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Because look at where we are. Like, if we want to win anything of note this season, I think we do need a defensive reinforcement, whoever that may be. So whoever we were going to sign in the summer, escalate that 5 months ahead of time, whatever, and sign them now. If that's Gahey, then sign Gahey. I think it's an opinion that I've had my mind changed on. I was speaking with my chat about it when we were talking about the whole centre-back situation, because we were trying to rationalize what the squad would be, with Kasanov, Hayes, blah, 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 all these other players. And I was thinking, it's a shame that none of those players are actually left-footed, and maybe we should sign a left-footed defender, once Ake leaves, because then Gavardia will be the only left-footer. But then I had my mind changed, because if you sign a left-footer, Schlotterbeck is a left-footer. He's never going to play right centre-back, for example. So that means his only option is to play left centre-back, and Gavardiol exists. So you're never going to play over Gavardiol unless he needs a rest. Realistically, Gavardiol is going to play 25 plus starts, 25 plus league games, probably more like 30 or so. So if you sign a left-footed centre-back, they're not going to get that many games relative to how many you'd need them to play, because Gavardiol is going to be playing them. So actually what you probably need is a right-footed, left-footed centre-back. Sorry, a right-footed, left-sided centre-back.
Yeah.
And that is what Gahey is, because Gahey can play left centre-back, but he's right-footed, so he can also play right centre-back. So actually, the more I think about it, and I've changed my mind on it, because initially I was like, no, get a left-footer. It actually does make more sense, probably, from a squad building perspective, to sign a right-footed, left-sided centre-back. So there's a number of reasons why Gahey would be ideal, and there's a really good stat that was going round, and I think it links to what City have been building more recently, is that if they sign Gahey, I think they'd have 5 of the most both-footed players in the Premier League, something like that. Shirky is number 1. I think Semenyo is up there, obviously. Gavardiol's up there, and Gahey's also up there as well. So they'd have loads of both-footed players, which is interesting.
Which takes the pressure off you needing a left-footed player or needing a right-footed, because if you can play with both feet, who cares, right?
Exactly.
So no, I'm with you on that one. You know what I mean? And the only way that you could potentially maybe go back to your original sort of opinion is if Pep is planning on playing Gavardio back at left back. But with the way Nico O'Reilly's playing, and the fact that we've not even tested Ait Nouri there properly yet, I don't even think that is something that needs to be revisited in the short term. You know what I mean? Maybe if Nico falls off a cliff and Ait Nouri just turns out to be crap, then maybe you revisit that next season. But yeah, I agree. Right now, the planning is get a player in. And I think, that's similar to Vita Hayes, because I'm pretty sure Vita Hayes is the same. Doesn't he play left-sided centre? Well, he did at Pal.
He's been doing both, yeah.
Has he been doing both? Yeah, because whenever I watched the clips when he was at Palmeiras, obviously I didn't watch the game, but when I watched the clips of him, he seemed to play on the left side, but he's a right-footed player. Which, well, by the way, that brings a few benefits, by the way, you know what I mean? And when you're that, it opens up that nice diagonal, you know what I mean, to the right-hand side. And actually, like if you're playing the ball to the left-sided player, it's an easier pass, right? Because you're playing the ball to the left back with your right foot. So, but obviously, in terms of build-up play, normally you want a left footer at left back, left-sided centre back, and right footer, right-sided centre back. So we'll see what happens there. But that is interesting news. That's the first time I think I've seen this saga include a statement or something like that to say that Mark Gay is now open to the deal. Everything that I've read before that seemingly suggested that Mark Gay is not sure. He wants to wait till the summer. He prefers Arsenal. He prefers Liverpool. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Obviously, there's only one source in it, so you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? But Yeah, interesting. I mean, that will leave the club with a little bit of a predicament, though, going into next year, because then you'll have Gavardio, Diaz, Huzanov, Gay, and Vita Hayes. And everything suggested that Vita Hayes was meant to be part of the Manchester City squad going into next season. They can't have 6 centre-backs. So does Vita Hayes just get loaned out again? I imagine that would be the plan, right? Because you can't have 6 centre-backs at your club, man. They're just never going to play. Yeah, even with our injury record, that's still a bit stupid. Maybe do you loan Vita Hayes out to the Premier League? Is that a viable thing? Maybe you do that?
But perhaps, yeah. In an ideal world, I think that he would go on another year of a loan. I know I keep bringing it up, but that there is a world where he could be a Saliba type, where he goes out on loan for 2 years and then comes back stronger for it. If he doesn't go out on loan again, I don't really see a future for him at City, because then your 2 main centre backs are Gvardiol and Diaz, and then your third choice would be Gahey, and then you'd have Kusanov. You'd expect as your 4th choice, although it depends what, as that comment says there, it depends how Elaine does this season. Like if he proves himself massively this season, then who knows what's going to happen there with Elaine.
Who did I include there? Because I said we had 6.
Elaine.
Oh, am I including Elaine in that? Right.
Yeah. I assume so. Yeah. Well, he's here. He's here. He's a City player right now, so he does technically count. We'll see how he does. And yeah, so obviously they can't all survive. You can't have all of Kusanov, Hayes, and Elaine in the squad. At least one of them has to go. Maybe even 2 have to go. Like if you want to think about promoting Fooney into the senior squads a couple of years down the line as well. So yeah, it remains to be seen. And I don't actually know. It's something that I've been umming and ahhing about with the whole City centre-back situation. I've not even included Barr in there, but I'm assuming Barr's just going to get sold for profit. It's an interesting one because, as I understand it, the club really highly rates Vitor Hayes. And is he still 19 or is he 20 years old now? He's very young, regardless, whatever. I know his birthday's in January. It's weird that I know that.
Now. He's 20 now, yeah.
There you go, yeah. Is his birthday in January?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that I know that.
Yeah, it was.
I do. Yeah. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see what we do. But it's good to have options, though. Obviously, it's good to have options.
To be fair, then, you could do that. Then you could have 5. You could have 5. That's something that you can do. But
I think you could have 5 for a season or 2. But But I think it depends on what players like Kusanov expect RE minutes, because Diaz isn't young. And Diaz is young. He's not old. How old is Diaz? Is he 26? He's 28. That's young for a centre-back. So it's not like Diaz will be off in 2 years and then Kusanov takes his spot. Diaz is going to be hanging around for like maybe another 5 years and probably still able to perform at a very high level, because Diaz has never relied on pace. So when his legs go, that's not really going to impact his game that much, I wouldn't have thought. So it depends on what Kusanov's longer term ambitions are. If he wants to be a starter in this side, I don't see Kusanov lasting more than 2 years at City, because he's not going to outlast Diaz, in my opinion. And Gahey would be ahead of him in the pecking order as well. So it can work short term. We'll see if it works longer term. Depends on their ambition, I think.
Yeah, by the way, Vita Hayes' birthday today.
Oh, there you go. Happy birthday. Big up.
Happy birthday, Vita Hayes. Yeah,
happy birthday's in the chat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, all right. Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens there, man. Yeah, I want this deal done, man. I think we need that little bit of, a little bit. That I think, again, it's a bit of a morale boost for the. If you get Semenyo in, I think that's boosted most fans. But then if you get Matt Gay at the same time, I think that's such a morale boost, man. And of course, the thing is, we kind of need him in now, because the games that are coming up are really, really important. By the end of the month, we could be out the race for the title and out the Carabao Cup. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of want to get this done quickly. So let's see what happens on that one. We'll keep our eye out. I still think that if this deal happens, I still think you'll get material news this week. I just do, man. I think if City can't convince him by the end of this week, they're not going to convince him, are they? Because they've probably been speaking to his agent for a while. There was a report come out last week that said City had been scouting him for 2 years. They probably inquired about him in last January when we needed a centre back. You know, maybe they spoke to him in the summer when Liverpool were there as well. Because I think this is what happens. I think clubs are always speaking to agents, and they probably spoke to him in January. And as soon as those two defenders, Gvardiol and Diaz, got injured in a recent game, they probably spoke to his agent the next day. So if you can't convince him by the end of the week, I just think like you're probably never going to convince him, are you? So I think if we're going to get him, you're going to get material news this week about it, and we'll see. We'll see if this bit of news that's come out this morning is the first sort of step on that. Big up to Minax says, LB, you like it, Max Alay? I think he's been tremendous in the 2 games that he's played. I've been so impressed with him. I'd start him tomorrow. I really would. Against again, I wouldn't play Ake. I'd start Max Lane tomorrow and give him a go. I think he deserves to play. I think he's played better in those 2 games than Ake's played this year when we've seen Ake. Even though I still think some people have hated on Ake a little bit too much this year. I don't think he's been as bad as some people are making out. But I've been so impressed with his on the ball. He is absolutely incredible, and you know, which you expect nothing less from a player coming through the City Academy, right? But yeah, Nobbins, I mean, what do you make of this guy's performances?
Yeah, good, promising. I didn't watch any Watford. I'll be the first to admit that. So the only minutes I've seen of him are when he's played for City recently. And yeah, people weren't lying when they said he's like both-footed, and when he's actually really good at progressing the ball from deep, he's looked calm. He's looked good. It's obviously early days, but one of those games was against in the Premier League against Brighton. It was the Brighton game, was it, where he started? Yeah, and he looked good in that game as well. So yeah, it's what we were speaking about earlier. I think he's technically right-footed, but he can also play in both. So that means he's an option for a left-sided centre back as well. He's taking his opportunities really well. Let's hope he can continue to do it, because then that introduces another headache for us later down the line when we're saying, oh, now we've got all these centre backs. Now, which one do we go? That's a good headache to have. Then you either have a really good player or you've got a good sale on your hands. Yeah, I'm really happy for him, and so love that he got a goal as well against Exeter. What a great moment for him. That was really lovely.
Did you see Haaland pushing him into the fans like when he scored, man? That was nice to see as well. He's been really good, man. Really, really impressive. Bluenit says, did you see Rodri telling the young centre-backs where to pass the ball? Nah, I didn't see that, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, Rodri's like a manager on the pitch, even off the pitch. I've seen him recently on the side of the pitch. He was telling players what to do. So, yeah, not sure. Let me have a look at these chats. Shout out to Perfect Sosa. I don't think Gay wants to join City over the other options. I believe City would have already bid otherwise, knowing our injury situation in defence. Maybe. I mean, clubs don't tend to bid for players until they've got the agreement from the player, right? Otherwise, you look like an idiot when the player says, "I don't want to join you." So City, like I say, for me, so I think City and Palace have probably already agreed a deal, even if it's just sort of like an outline of what a deal will look like. It's convincing Gay that appears to be the thing. So. But this is positive news, you know, positive news. We'll see if it gets developed. We'll see what happens. He also says, Schlotterbeck refused to extend the contract. It ends in a year. Personally, I'd want Van de Ven over anyone. Fast and great on the ball. Perfect for us. Something about Van de Ven, right, that I'm just not keen on. And I don't know
is
what
it his hamstrings?
It's not his hamstrings. I don't know. I just feel that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about him, man. I know he's rapid and that, yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know if he's as good as people make out. And I know I'll get cut by the chat on that, yeah. And I can't really explain why I feel like that. But you know, sometimes when you just watch him, and I just feel like, nah, I just something about him, man. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. I don't think he's as good as people suggest he is. I think he's good, but I also think he's injury prone. I do like Van de Ven a lot. I rate him higher than you, but I think he's injury prone and.
Also, he's worth 100 mil, right? You have to pay 100 mil to get him out of Spurs. That should be honest.
Yeah, and he's not better than Gvardiol. He's not starting over Yoshko. So it's
exactly. So going back to what you were saying before, yeah. All right, maybe it's not 100, maybe it's 80. Bro, he's not playing. He's going to be on the bench.
Yeah.
And is he, if he's worth 80 mil, is he that much better than Gay at 25, 30 mil? People are telling me Schlotterbeck's got a year left on his contract. So you get him in the summer for what, 40 mil? 50 mil? Is he that much better than Schlotterbeck? I don't know. I've only seen Schlotterbeck once. He played very, very well. But I feel like it's a lot of money for someone that, is he really that better than these players? Is he better at all than these players? Is he got a better injury record than these players? Is he going to play as much as these players? He's not going to play as much as Matt Gay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you said before, Matt Gay can play left-sided and right-sided centre-back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about him, bro. Listen, I can't tell you, so don't ask me why, yeah? But just something about him, right, that just makes me think, I don't think he's quite as good as people make out. But anyway, he also says, big up for the super chats, bro. Says, why don't people rate Van der Ven 6'4", strong, great in the air, has the same amount of goals as Gabriel from set pieces, fastest player in the Prem, great on the ball, he has 95% pass accuracy. I don't get it. I don't know. I can't tell you, bro.
I'm actually with Mr. Perfector that I think he is actually a very good defender. But my problem is I'm looking at City's squad composition and I'm looking at his injury record, and I just don't think it matches. If you're going to have quite a significant financial package on a centre back, and it looks like if you bring in Gahey earlier, you're going to have to do that for his like signing on bonus and wages and the fee of powers, blah 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 blah. Then he needs to be a very very excellent option at third choice, and I don't think Van der Ven comes into City willingly to be third choice. Realistically, that's not going to happen. And also, he can't even really be third choice because he can't fill in for Diaz at right centre backs, whereas Gahey can. So the more I think about that take, that my chat convinced me to, by the way, because initially I was like, yeah, I want a left-footed, but my chat convinced me that actually a right-footer would be better. I think it makes more sense for
right footer that can play left-sided centre back.
Yes, that's the key, isn't it? Yeah, I think that makes much more sense if you're going to have, because Gahey would be quite clearly above in pecking order everyone below him, i.e. Kusanov, Hayes, Elaine, whoever. But he'd also be a very clear tier below Gvardiol and Diaz. He'd be the very clear out and out. So you are like the third choice. You fill in for Gvardiol first choice. You fill in for Diaz first choice sort of thing. I don't know if Van der Ven or Schlotterbeck or any of the other names necessarily match up.
They're strictly second choice left-sided centre back.
Mm.
Because what you're looking for, when you and by the way, yeah, you're saying that obviously if Matt Gay comes in now in January, he's got every opportunity in the world to earn that spot. And
he'd start this season, no doubt about it.
Absolutely would, and that's another reason why I think if Matt Gay is going to join Manchester City, I think now is the time to do it, because if he joins in the summer, yeah, he's going to start the season as a backup choice, like you said. If he joins now, just like Huzanov, who's playing, if you're playing and you're playing well, and you can make that position your own, when Diaz comes back, if Huzanov slams it, maybe Pep will go, you know what, I'm not going to put Diaz straight back in. You have an opportunity, right, to make that position your own. So if Gay is going to join Manchester City, yeah, I think now's the time, not the summer. I think you've got an opportunity now to make that position your own. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. And I do agree with you. I think getting a player that can play both positions is better, because going back to what I was going to say then, is when you're buying a rotational option, and of course, I've just spoke about the fact that Gay might not end up turning, he might not be a rotational option if he can make that position his own. But let's just assume if he comes in, he will be a rotational option, right? You want a player that can play in multiple positions, not just one. You know, that's why, you know, it's not, if you're buying a player, you want them to be able to play multiple positions if you're a rotational option. Otherwise, they're kind of limited, you know, and also that's not going to help them, because if Diaz gets injured, you might go, oh, say we sign Van der Ven, Diaz gets injured, you really want to play Van der Ven right-sided centre-back. Has he ever done that in his life? I don't know. So that's not going to help them, because then their minutes are going to decline. Whereas if you get Gay, he can play left-sided centre-back, right-sided centre-back. That means his minutes are going to go up. That means he's going to be happier. Funny enough, what that does is it makes it harder for the likes of Huzanov and Vita Hayes. Their minutes are probably going to decline slightly.
Yes.
Because they're now limited, because they're now fourth choice. And the fifth choice is really fifth. So, you know, it all has its pros and cons, I suppose. You know, you can make an argument forever, whatever you want. You know, you can make an argument to get Van der Ven, and then you've just got a second choice left-sided centre-back, and Huzanov your second choice right-sided centre-back. And that's fine. That's cool, yeah? But I don't know. There's pros and cons to both, I suppose. But big up to all, bro. It's a good argument, man. And I can't really answer as to why.
You're just a hater. You just got an agenda. It's fine. It's fine.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's shit or anything. And I think he is clearly a good player. But a little bit when people told me to go to Wingstop, I just feel like it's a little bit overrated, bro. And like, if people just said, yeah, if you went now, it's like I went at the hype when everyone was banging on about it on Instagram and TikTok and shit. And that was I'm never going to do that again. I'm always going to wait, yeah. So I think if I went now, I think I'd enjoy it. But because everyone was hyping it up and that, I was like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like this ain't as good as people are making out. Because everyone was on Twitter and that and TikTok and shit saying this is the best thing in the world. And I just feel like with Van de Ven, everyone hyped him so high that I don't know. I'm not saying he's shit. I'm clearly a good player, but I wouldn't be paying 80 million for him. No way. Yeah. I think he's your marquee signing him. Yeah, basically. Shout out to Aaron, says Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Gavardio, Nico O'Reilly, Rodri, Anderson, Foden / Jerky, Semenyo, Haaland. Oh, and a top right. Oh, and your top right. So you're playing Cherky or Foden as a 10, and then you're playing the top right would be enough. Get rid of Deadwood. Well, we definitely need to, get rid of some players this summer. Said this before the game against Brighton. We need to be ruthless in the summer, man. We absolutely do. And by the way, if you go and get Van de Ven for 80 million, if we do try and enter the market and go for a top class, world class, elite level winger on the right hand side, then that's going to stretch your finances a little bit more, innit? Because you go and spending 70, 80 million on a centre back that you don't really need. If you go and spend 30 million on Gay, then you might have that you got to keep your powder dry then, don't you, for your winger? I don't think we're going to sign one in the summer, to be honest with you. But
no, I think that's what Semenyo is supposed to be.
I think that's what Semenyo's supposed to be. Yeah, but we have a dream that we sign Elise, but it's not.
Yeah, emphasis on dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. I know we're not going to sign him, but he got another 4 GA yesterday in one game.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic player, no doubt. Yeah.
2 goals, 2 assists for Elise yesterday, chat. Can you believe that? The guy's a joker, man. He's already got 28 goal involvements this season, goal and assists.
That's a lot. He's a big boy,
and he's 24, and he's homegrown.
And he's homegrown. Yeah, but he's playing for Bayern. And he's only been there for 2 years.
He is, but if you look at what he did at Palace, it wasn't too shabby either. He got 16 goal involvements in his last Premier League campaign.
That wasn't me degrading his goal scoring numbers. That was me suggesting that you're not going to get him out of Bayern.
Oh, I thought you was doing the whole
wow. No. It's only the Bundesliga. Yeah. No. He's clearly that guy.
No, you don't stoop to that level. I should have known better. I apologize.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Don't accept it.
Yeah. To be honest then, Aaron, I don't really know who else you can go and get, to be honest, as an elite level right winger. Because what other elite level right wingers, can you go and get in the summer if you
Rodrigo.
I don't know. I don't know who you go and get, bro. I would not be against trying to get Rafinha out of Barcelona, man. I don't know if that's possible. You know what I mean?
I'd suggest no.
The only reason I say it is because he's 29, right? And they've obviously got some financial issues. And if City went there and put like 70 mil on the table for a 29-year-old, do you reckon? I know we're not going to do that. So again, this is just like fucking dreaming sort of situation. But do you not reckon Barcelona would go 70 million for a 29-year-old financial situation?
Maybe. I just don't. We're
not going to do it, but
no. Yeah, I just don't get how that works with RE squad balance. Like we've already got many an option out wide, do we not?
Goodbye to Sevilla, Bob, I think.
Well, Bob's already basically gone in my head. Who knows what happens? But in my head, Bob out, Semenyo in. I think we'll see what happens medium to long term. I think maybe another player might end up going in the next year or two based on opportunities for minutes.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. And shout out to Ferg FIFA. Big up to you, bro. 29 months as well, man. I appreciate the 29 months. A long time, man. That's probably one of the longest on the channel. Hey, LB, could you please tell my girlfriend, Olivia, to dial in and respect the calves massage post-game? Otherwise, I won't get that GA. What are you talking about? What? Olivia, man, he needs a calf massage, bro. Otherwise, he's not going to get the GA. He's going to be like Bob. Come on, man. You don't want him to be like Bob, man. Come on.
Respect the baby cows. Respect them.
Yeah. Come on, mate. Come on. Honestly, what's going on here? Yeah, L Olivia in the chat, lads. L Olivia in the chat. Shout out for one of the strangest super chats I've received on the channel, man. I can't lie. So yeah, all right then. So that's the defense in terms of centre back. Let's assume we get Gay, right? Obviously, you're looking at a centre back. Gay is obviously the top target. Do they have backup targets in January? I don't know. If you don't get Gay, might they just leave it and just run? Because obviously you got to remember Diaz is back like at the end of the month anyway, right? Or like first week of February or whatever. So all right, we're under a little bit of pressure with our centre backs right now. We've only got 3, Huzanov, Elaine, who are doing good job in the 2 games they've played. You know, Brighton and Exeter. Can you really like commit for the next month? It's important matches, by the way. Obviously, you've got Champions League. We need to get that locked off. We've got the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Diaz, will he be back for the second leg? Who knows? Premier League, we can't afford to drop any more points. Otherwise, you know, good night, Vienna. We're out of there. But let's just assume we get Matt Gay. So then you've got a sort of a back four. Then obviously O'Reilly will continue to play. I do want to see Ait Nouri be given some game time when he gets back from AFCON, which should be basically now. I'd be surprised if he's not in Manchester today, to be honest with you. And then you got Nunes. That right back position. I know actually you've been someone that spoke about this a lot in terms of if Nunes gets injured. No one's really speaking about it. And you said this before, and it's actually true. No one really speaks about the fact that if Nunes gets injured, what the hell do we do? Because, you know, do people really want to see Rico Lewis at right back? No. You can't really afford to play Huzanov at right back at the moment anyway, because you've only got 3 centre backs. Yeah. And then do you really want to see Ake and fucking Elaine at centre back at the moment? Not really. So you've got a bit of an issue there, to be honest with you. You know, but so we need to address that in the summer. Who we go for, I don't know. Livramento was the player that everyone spoke about, but he's picked up yet another. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, another injury.
Up another injury, man.
I don't think we can touch that, unfortunately. I changed my mind on him when he picked up that injury a few months ago. It was like, yeah, I was like, oh, this is becoming an injury-prone player. Like you can't invest like that much money into a player that you know is quite injury-prone, because it would be a significant investment, wouldn't it? Be like 80 million-ish more. I don't even know. A lot of money, though, basically. And I still think that he'd be worth it as a player. It's the quality he could become, but I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can invest that much money on a player who you can't trust to be fit, unfortunately, which is sad.
Yeah, it's the fact he's had 4 knee injuries in his career that scares me already, and he's only 23. He's had 4 knee injuries. He had a knee problem back in 2022. Then he done his cruciate ligaments. Is that knee? Cruciate ligaments. Is that a knee injury?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll say that's a knee injury. And then he done.
Because your ACL is your anterior cruciate ligament.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Right. Fair enough. Yeah. He missed a full year. He missed a full year. 64 matches he missed, which is. Oh, that includes England games. All right, okay, cool. And then he done another knee injury back in September last year, and then he done another knee injury when he come back from that, and then he's just done his hamstring as well. And that's the problem with these knee injuries. That's what Rodri did, didn't he? When you get these knee injuries and you're out, it's not just a knee injury. If you're out for like a year or whatever, yeah, and you're not training your muscles, so when you come back, pop, your fucking hamstrings going or your thighs going because you've not done anything for a year because you can't. So when you get back, all your muscles are weaker. This is why when you come back from these long injuries, you've got to take it really slow. They've got to get back in the gym. Yeah, they should probably spam gym out for like 2 months to get their muscles like built up again because you lose it. Have you ever seen those pictures online of when someone like breaks their leg? And then
it's bizarre.
After like 9 months, they take a picture of the right leg and the left leg, and obviously like the legs are just completely different sizes. Because they lose so much muscle. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely wild. So, yeah, in terms of that, then I don't know what you do at right back. There are right backs out there, a lot of young ones, maybe not proven to a top level. But I guess if Nunes can keep up what he's done this year, you are under less pressure, I think, going into next season, needing to sign that all-star right back. If Nunes can hold it down, you can maybe afford to go into the market and sign the Reed, sign the El Halali, sign Fernandez, that type of player, because Nunes is holding it down. Because going into this season, everyone was like, we need a first choice right back, and that's fair. There's a couple of people in the chat that disagree, but that was a fair opinion. Whereas now I think going into next season, so long as Nunes doesn't fall off a cliff in the second half of the year, which doesn't appear to be happening, you don't really need to do that. You can go in and we'll go and get a backup or not a backup. That's maybe the wrong word. Go and get a young player who can push Nunes and try and maybe overtake Nunes in the years to come. So I actually think that we're not far away now from having a really, really like complete full squad. Because I think the squad we've got at the moment is good. I don't think it's anywhere near complete. And I think there are still gaps, quite big gaps actually in the squad. But I think next summer, if Viana gets it right and does his job and doesn't fuck about, I think going into next season, we could have like a complete squad. And I only think we need a centre back, we need a right back,
Yeah.
we need a one midfielder, maybe two, and then maybe a winger. Maybe it's not a lot.
No.
And we already know, and the good thing is as well, we already have identified a lot of these players. We've identified the centre back, we've identified Anderson. You just need to identify your right back and maybe identify your winger, and then decide whether you need that second midfielder or not. Because I'm still like, I don't know whether we need two. Maybe we need two midfielders. I don't know.
I think for me, you just need the one. Even though we'd be losing two bodies in Bernardo and Cove, I think you just need the one, because then your midfielders are players who you'd want to play either as in defense midfield or as like an 8. You've got Rodri, you've got Nico, Gonzalez, you've got Foden, you've got Reinders. Let's say you sign Anderson, you've got Anderson, then you've got 5 starters, vying for those 3 positions. And then you've got depth in Rico Lewis and Nico O'Reilly. And I think that's enough. Those are enough bodies there for me. So if you bring in Anderson, that's lovely. Right back, as you say, if Nunes can keep kicking on, that's lovely. But I still think that's quite an upgradable position down the line. So getting in one of these young players with a high ceiling would be ideal. And you need to bring in a centre-back, because whether it's Gahey or not, Ake and Stones aren't probably not going to be here next season. So you're going to
No,
need
they can't be here.
body
They can't
in
be
there.
here. Them two, respectfully, thanks for everything you've done. Legends, yeah. Both of you are legends, yeah.
Yeah.
Treble winners and that. Big up to you. Yeah. Mint signings, both of them. But they can't be here next year, man. They just can't, bro.
No, yes, Stones will be let go on a free, of course, and Ake, you'd assume, would also be sold and moved on somewhere as well. And he'd probably want to be moved on as well, because he wants to play more minutes. And if we sign Gahey, he's not going to ever play, is he? Ake would turn to like 4th, 5th, 6th choice or overnight, wouldn't he? So, he would go, and that's a shame, but it's time, of course. So, yeah, I don't think we're that far off. Yeah, centre back, right back, and a midfielder for me. I'm pretty happy with our forward line. I know you want a winger, and that's fine, of course.
Well, the winger, I want a winger, but obviously if Semenyo does well in the next 6 months,
yes,
I'd be open to just be like, oh, well, maybe we don't need one, especially if Cherky continues to be used as a winger. Yeah. So like it depends.
Yes.
My winger thing at the moment is more sort of like I'm keeping an eye on it.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. I'll decide that in the summer. The 2 midfielder thing again, I'm going to see what happens. The only thing that could throw a bomb, a nuclear bomb into this transfer planning is if Rodri decides that he's had enough and wants to leave. Because if that happens, then it's like, oh shit. Nothing else really I look at and go, what can put like Haaland or whatever, but he seems pretty chill. That's the only one for me that could cause a bit of an issue, because we know who's leaving. We know Kovacic will leave. We know Bernardo will leave. We know Ake will leave. We know Stones will leave. We know all these players that are leaving. They shouldn't be a surprise this summer. And I think, as we spoke about, the players coming in again easily identifiable. Gay, or you go and get someone else. Anderson's clearly the player that City want. And I think actually, did David Ornstein not do something? I think David Ornstein did. I can't remember what he said. I think David Ornstein said as well that basically everybody in football thinks Anderson City is a deal that's going to be done in the summer. I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
That makes a lot of sense. Like, we tried to get Bellingham, couldn't get him. Tried to get Rice, couldn't get him. Anderson's like the next one down the line. It makes too much sense. I'd be very happy if it happens. It should happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I say, the only thing that can really throw a spanner in the works is if Rodri decides, lads, I want to go to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hopefully that doesn't fucking happen. But it's nice to see him get a goal. That was fucking nice. I just didn't think he played that great, but if I'm being honest with you, but he what a strike that was. Great strike.
Yeah, we don't talk about the goalkeeper, but yes, very good goal.
Yeah, the goalkeeper, man. You know what's funny about that, right? Because in the game, I didn't think about it at all, right? And then like after the match and that, I think I said it after the game, but I was speaking about the match after the game, and I was like, Exeter did not play that bad at all. I actually thought they were all right, for a League One side. I thought, oh, you know what, fair play to them, man. They actually did some good football. They obviously looked at Brighton because they moved the ball forward extremely quickly and just tried to get the ball in behind the lines rapid. I thought, there's no way that was a 10-1 game in terms of the chances that we created. And I thought, what happened? And obviously we scored a couple own goals, a few nice finishes, obviously from Rodri and Reinders. I thought maybe the goalkeeper must have been bad, bro. They were not that bad, bro. We've played teams from the Championship, League One, and League Two that have been much, much worse than that. Yeah, in the last 10 years, and we've scored 3 or 4. They were not that bad. They were not horrible. I don't think they were that anywhere near that bad. No way. Did you see the XG on it as well?
Well, yeah. Well, that will happen. It's so many own goals as well, of course. Yeah, and at first half, not being funny, first half they created the best chance of the game.
The header.
Yeah, all of our chances were mistakes, or like just like long shots where the goalkeeper probably could have done a little bit better, or like, you know, them faffing around in the box from a set piece. So I would actually argue first half they created the best chance of the game. Second half, yeah, they were stinking. I think that the fact that they were getting battered probably didn't help. But yeah, the first half they were actually not terrible, even though they were 4-0 down.
No, they weren't. They weren't. They weren't. Yeah, but that happens when you play lower league teams. They just get knackered in the second half, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
That always happens. By the time you get to 60 minutes, they're fucking cooked, man, because they've been chasing the ball for an hour. You know what I mean? They've not had the ball at all. So that's just what happens, man. Always happens. That's why, like, you don't really, when you play these lower league teams, if you do struggle in that first half, you just don't panic, because you know by the time you get to 60 minutes, especially if you're at home, maybe slightly different if you're away, because they've got all the fans behind them and the atmosphere and the shit can keep them going. But if you're at the Etihad, you're cooked after 60 minutes because you're chasing the ball around. Now let me see what you guys are saying. No need winger, just promote McAdoo for senior team. I thought he had a really promising performance, McAdoo.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I thought his all-round game was nice. What I liked about him, that he didn't just spam take-ons, because he's a very sort of like direct player. And it's funny. I said I went to watch City v Bolton in the in like the Youth Cup about 2 months ago, or whatever, and he played and he didn't play well, and he just spammed take-ons the whole game. You know what I mean? But against Exeter, I felt like he was more sort of like well-rounded. His performance was much more well-rounded and balanced. He didn't always just take the player on if he thought that this isn't the right scenario. I'll go back. I'll play it to the right back, or play it in field, or just do whatever. I just felt it was a good performance, man. And obviously, he's a player that's probably going to take Bob's position for the next 6 months, isn't he? He won't get a lot of minutes, but I don't think he did any harm. I think all the players played well. And you know what? It was so nice as well to see at the end of the game, there's 8 academy players on the pitch, bro.
Yeah, that was lovely. Yeah.
That was nice to see. But I thought all the academy players had a good game. Even Mafuni, been talking about Mafuni for a while. Thought he come on and done nice. Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. A conveyor belt of talent. And yeah, I thought all the players played well. I thought it was a cool game, man. It was a fun game. You know what made me laugh, though? Cherky, bro. Cherky was just like, do you think he thought, right, we're going to beat these. Yeah. I'm just going to go out there and play FIFA. Bro, the guy was just doing mad skills the whole game. Back flicks, back heels. He tried to do a rainbow flick at one point, didn't he? He was a guy who was just balling out. He just was like, yeah, I'm just going to have some fun, which was nice. To see, because otherwise some sort of game can become a little bit boring. But yeah, that was cool. Macassar, yeah, I think Pep trusts him. You know what I like about Macassar? He just keeps things tidy. I've seen him in the academy. He's got a lot of talent, but he keeps things tidy.
I wanted him to start.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to start as a false 9 striker.
Same. Yeah, I didn't really see I didn't get what the point of starting Haaland was, because the idea was, start him to so he gets goals. He didn't get the goal first half and got taken off at half time. So I didn't really get what the point was of that. It's not like we got a tricky game tomorrow. It's not like we need to rest our senior players. I didn't like that he started. That annoyed me. That's my only gripe with the game. I didn't like that Haaland started. Rest him. Didn't get that.
Yeah. You know what? I think a lot of these academy players are starting to realise that when you're playing for Pep and you're making your first appearance or whatever, just keep things simple. I've spoke about this a lot on the channel, and I think it's so important that when you're an academy player, you earn the trust of the manager. And I've seen players before come on the pitch, and Palmer was a bit like this. Palmer would go on the pitch and just start fucking trying to ball out and shoot and all that kind of crap. And I'm not sure that's the way to sort of become a player under Pep in the initial part. I think you've got Pep wants to know that you're not going to fuck him over by doing something stupid and losing the ball in a bad area. And I think a lot of the players are starting to realise this now. And you know, you look at O'Reilly, look at his performances. Yeah, and you know, he just goes in there, steady Eddie, left back, does his job, gets off the pitch. Yeah, and then you know, you see sometimes he'll do something. He's growing as he's playing. So I think that's something that the young players are starting to realise, man, to be honest with you. But yeah, before we wrap it up, because we're going to go on Saeed's channel, massive match tomorrow, Newcastle. Are you with me that we should go full strength as strong as possible? Or a couple of people have said, nah, rest some players. We've got United at the weekend, big Premier League game, which it is, to be fair.
We rested some players. We rested quite a lot of players against Exeter. In fairness, like Foden had a rest since. That's the first proper rest he's had since late October. So he's actually been given a rest now, which is good. Haaland had half the game off. Rodri had half the game off. Did he come off at halftime as well? I think you can afford to go strong against Newcastle. You can afford to go strong in the derby as well. Yes, not a problem for me.
Yeah, I think you've got to go. I think you've got to go full strength, man. I don't.
Semi-final.
Yeah, exactly. I can't comprehend anybody not wanting to go full strength tomorrow when it's a semi-final. Yeah, and at the moment, it's not looking like we are going to win the league based on where we are. You know, 6 points behind Arsenal. Like the Arsenal are favourites for that. This is a knockout tournament, and we're in the semi-final. Yeah, I don't know about if you agree. I'd play Rodri, Nico G pivot tomorrow, bro. Because obviously you're going to play. Do you agree that Max Elaine and Huzanov should be our centre back partnership tomorrow? Would you play Ake?
Oh, no, I think it has to be Elaine Kusanov, doesn't it? I think it has to be.
I agree. So I would play Rodri and Nico G and just lock it off because we don't need to win tomorrow. Yeah, we just need to not fucking get. We just need to make sure that we're in control of the tie. You know what I mean? And if we get 0-0 tomorrow, oh bro, I'm shaking your hand on that. Someone offered me now 0-0. I'm shaking your hand on that 100%. So for me, I play Nico G, Rodri, and just say protect the defenders. Yeah, Elaine's been great, but as someone said, he has played 2 home games. And this is going to be a semi-final at St James's Park, night match. It's tough. I think play Rodri, play Nico G, just lock it off, protect that midfield, give Foden or Cherky the free roll, whoever you're going to play, and just say, right, we're going to just make sure we don't lose the game because Newcastle need to win that leg. Yeah, realistically, yeah, that's what they'll be saying. They need to win the tie to come to the Etihad. They've got a bad record at City Stadium, bad record. So we've not got a great record at their gaff. So we just go there tomorrow, get a 0-0, no injuries. I'll take that all day long, man.
Yeah, I'll take that score definitely. I just don't know if because we haven't played a double pivot all season, so I just don't know if that's the game to start experimenting with that. That's all. That's all I'd say on that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, does anybody know when Nori's back? He's obviously probably not going to be available for tomorrow, but like surely he's got to be back today.
Knocked out, didn't he?
Yeah, they got knocked out on Saturday.
Yeah. Like, maybe the derby, you'd assume. Maybe that's the first game he's available.
Yeah.
Which is this weekend, isn't it? This Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. It's a big day Saturday, you know. We got United and they've got to go Forest away. I know Forest are a bit shit, right? But if Sean Dyche decides to play low block on Saturday, it could be trouble for Arsenal. It could be trouble. If he decides that, we're mint and we're going to take Arsenal on and try and attack them, yeah, good night. End up 3-0.
Yeah, the only problem is that Forest have been one of the worst teams
I know
this season from set pieces.
Apparently, they're the worst. Someone told me the 20th in the league table for set piece goals conceded.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. When I was watching them in anticipation of our game, that was a trend. They kept conceding chances from set pieces. And obviously Arsenal are that.
You don't really associate a Sean Dyche team with that, do you?
No, but it was a failing before Dyche even got involved. So I think he's still trying to get them up to being competent there.
Doesn't sound like he's doing great. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's a massive week for us, isn't it? It's an absolutely massive week. Semi-final tomorrow night. The games are coming thick and fast. And like I say, we can get out of there tomorrow with a draw. I'll take that all day long. Beat United, and we're in a real good position, man. And if we can get Matt Gay over the line, yeah, maybe get a little bit of positive news on the injury recovery of Diaz, because they did say 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, so if it's 4 weeks, he'll be back at the end of the month. That means he'll be back for the second leg. If it's 6 weeks, he'll probably miss the second leg. So yeah, what a week we've got ahead, man. Big up to everybody, mate. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show. We do this every Monday. Shout out to Bennywell, by the way. Says, if Gay rejects, then who will be the next target? I have no idea. I've not seen any. We've got linked with that Creswell guy, but I have no idea who this guy is, man.
No, I don't know enough.
Don't know who this is, mate, to be honest with you. He also says, 1st and 8th Feb, Spurs, Liverpool away. Diaz returns 21st of Feb. 21st of Feb? Nah, that's way too long, bro. He got injured against Brighton, which was what, midweek? Was it when was it? Last Thursday? No, it was the weekend of
the thing against Chelsea, didn't he?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so the 4 weeks, which they said it's 4 to 6 weeks, would be the 3rd. Yeah. And then if it's 6 weeks, then that's when he misses. That's why I'm saying we need some positive news on the Diaz recovery. Because if it's at the lowest, because they said it was 4 to 6 weeks. So if it's at the lower end, 4 weeks, he'll be back for the semi-final and he'll be back for Liverpool Spurs. But if it's 6 weeks, he's going to miss them all, which is a bit of a fuckery. But maybe Elaine, and if we get Gay, it doesn't really matter. You know, I won't be shitting myself with Gay and Cousin up at the back. Yeah. And if Elaine plays well on Tuesday against Newcastle, then that'll be more confidence to just say, oh, he's chilling. But anyway. All right, sweet. I was going to say then, but I can't remember what's going on yet. Oh, yeah. No, make sure you guys go and check it out. Nobbin's video that he uploaded on, was it Thursday? Was it that you uploaded? When did you upload your video on Semenyo? Which day was it?
It was the day after he was Here We Go'd.
Oh, was it? Right, yeah. Matt, it was either Wednesday or... Oh, it was the last video you uploaded anyway. There you go. It's chill.
There you go.
That's an easier way. Yeah, make sure you guys go to Nobbin's channel and go and watch the Semenyo video, man. It was his last video. Just click on videos. Go to Nobbin's channel, L Nobbins, or at Nobbins. Go to videos, and it's the last one that you uploaded, man. Go check that out. How Semenyo could impact City and impact the City team. Make sure you guys go checking that out, man. No glaze, yeah, but the Nobbins transfer videos are sick, man. I can't lie. I'm not glazing.
Sounds like you are. It's crazy. It's not even post watershed yet.
It's not. Right, guys, we got to go cook Saeed. We got to go cook George. We got to go cook. Who else we got to go cook? Liverpool haven't played. They play tonight. Chelsea. No, Chelsea won.
Boo.
Yeah, there you go. Right, pick up, guys. Make sure you come back next week, because next week's is the Derby Nobbins show. So that's going to be crazy, man. You know, we could even be, bro, next week, yeah, we could have lost tomorrow. We could lose against United and all hell's broke loose. Or we win our draw tomorrow. We might win on Saturday and we're fucking buzzing and we're going ham and like, yo.
No in between.
It's going to be a big show next Monday. So make sure you come back 11 a.m. Smash the likes before you go, guys. Yeah, there's 650 people in here and we're on 218 likes. Smash the like before you go. I'm going to redirect you to over Saeed. We're getting going in 5 minutes for midday live. Catch you in the next one.